Have you ever wondered if you're unknowingly adding ingredients to your meals that could be silently harming your kidneys? It's true, many of our favorite spices, while generally healthy, might surprisingly worsen kidney inflammation over time, especially if you're already a bit concerned about your renal health. But don't you worry, we're here to guide you through which common spices you should be mindful of and, more importantly, how to protect your kidneys. You see, chronic kidney inflammation can gradually progress into serious kidney disease, and what we eat plays a pivotal role. While many spices actually offer fantastic anti-inflammatory benefits, some common ones might unfortunately worsen kidney inflammation, especially when used in excess or by those who are already prone to kidney issues. In this article, we're going to dive into 6 widely used spices that research suggests might contribute to kidney inflammation over time, along with some really practical advice for anyone looking to keep their kidneys healthy. Number 1, turmeric. All right, let's kick things off with turmeric. This amazing spice, celebrated for its vibrant color and all its wonderful medicinal properties, actually contains active compounds called curcuminoids, with curcumin being the most notable. Now, while curcumin is super well known for its powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects, here's the catch. Turmeric also contains natural compounds called oxalates. These oxalates, especially when you consume them in high amounts, can actually bind with calcium in your body to form something called calcium oxalate crystals. And why does that matter? Well, the formation of these calcium oxalate crystals is a primary way kidney stones can develop. So, for anyone who's prone to kidney stone formation, or if you've had kidney issues in the past, a diet high in oxalates. And yes, that includes a significant intake from turmeric, could potentially increase your risk. It really highlights a delicate balance, because turmeric's fantastic benefits can sometimes be overshadowed by its oxalate content, especially in sensitive individuals. Now, most of us can safely enjoy turmeric as a culinary spice without a problem. However, very high supplemental or even excessive culinary doses might actually put a mild to moderate stress on your kidneys. This is super important to remember for anyone taking concentrated turmeric extracts or consuming really large quantities daily, way beyond just what you'd use in your cooking. Your body has to process and excrete these compounds, and an overload can definitely strain your kidneys' filtering capacity. It's truly a paradox, isn't it? The very spice we praise for its anti-inflammatory effects can, in certain situations, contribute to kidney stress. Understanding this double-edged sword is absolutely crucial for anyone looking to get all the health benefits of turmeric without inadvertently risking their renal health. Finding that balance between its known advantages and the potential for oxalate-related issues is key. As we continue our journey, let's explore another intriguing spice that definitely merits our attention. Number 2, star anise. All right, moving on to our second spice, star anise. With its really distinctive licorice-like flavor, it's a popular spice in so many different cuisines. But, and this is a big but, it contains compounds that, in certain situations, may actually trigger nephrotoxicity, which basically means kidney damage, especially in sensitive individuals. The exact ways this happens are still being researched, but concerns definitely come from certain chemical components found in the spice. We've actually seen documented case reports of toxicity and kidney stress, particularly when star anise is consumed as highly concentrated extracts, or, even worse, when it's contaminated. These cases often involve people who have accidentally ingested really large doses, sometimes without even knowing it, leading to some pretty adverse effects on their kidneys. It really highlights how important it is to properly source this spice and to be super cautious with any concentrated forms. And here's a critical distinction we absolutely need to make. There's Chinese star anise, or Illicium verum, which is totally safe for us to consume. But then there's Japanese star anise, or Illicium anisatum, which is highly toxic. Japanese star anise contains something called anisatin, a potent neurotoxin that can cause serious symptoms, including kidney failure, seizures, and even vomiting, even if you consume just a tiny amount. The real danger here is accidental substitution because they look so similar. So, given this risk, it's absolutely vital that consumers make sure they are using culinary-grade Chinese star anise from reputable sources. Any contamination, or simply mistaking it for its toxic Japanese cousin, can lead to really severe health consequences, including significant kidney damage. Caution and knowledge are absolutely paramount when you're thinking about incorporating this spice into your diet. Let's now turn our focus to another familiar spice that warrants a closer look. Number 3, nutmeg. Moving right along, let's talk about nutmeg. This warm and aromatic spice, so often found in both sweet and savory dishes, contains a compound called myristicin. Now, while it's generally safe in small amounts when you're just cooking, research does suggest a possible link between myristicin and irritation to your kidneys, especially when consumed in high doses. Your body actually metabolizes myristicin into other compounds, and when those are at elevated concentrations, they can potentially put a real burden on your kidneys during their detoxification process. Beyond its delicious culinary role, nutmeg is also known for something else: its psychoactive effects when consumed in really large quantities, and we're talking way beyond typical cooking amounts. There have been numerous case studies documenting acute toxicity from people intentionally ingesting large doses of nutmeg. This often leads to symptoms like hallucinations, feeling disoriented, nausea, and vomiting. And in these severe overdose cases, acute kidney injury has actually been observed as a serious complication, which points to a direct impact on kidney function. So, the key thing to remember with nutmeg is all about the dose and how often you're consuming it. While a tiny pinch of nutmeg in your mashed potatoes or coffee is super unlikely to cause any harm, consuming significant amounts, like several teaspoons or even entire whole nutmegs, can absolutely be dangerous. This really highlights that while culinary use is perfectly safe, if you start looking at nutmeg as a recreational drug or consuming it in excessive supplemental forms, it carries inherent risks, especially for your kidney health. It's a clear reminder that even common spices can become problematic when they're misused or consumed in quantities far beyond their traditional culinary application. Now, let's investigate a spice that might be in your pantry right now and carries its own unique kidney considerations. Number 4, cinnamon. Okay, let's move on to cinnamon, a truly beloved spice that adds warmth to countless dishes. You might know it comes in various forms, primarily Ceylon and Cassia. Now, the main concern for kidney health largely revolves around a compound called coumarin, which is found in much higher concentrations in cassia cinnamon. This is actually the most commonly sold type in many regions. While coumarin does give cinnamon its flavor, it's also been identified as a potential nephrotoxin, meaning it can be harmful to your kidneys if levels get too high. For people with impaired detoxification pathways, like those with liver issues, or even more importantly, individuals who already have pre-existing kidney disease, the way their body metabolizes and excretes coumarin can be compromised. This can lead to a buildup of the compound in the body, potentially making existing kidney damage worse or contributing to inflammation over time. It's a really significant consideration for vulnerable populations. In fact, regulatory bodies in various countries have even issued warnings and set what they call tolerable daily intake levels for coumarin because of its potential toxicity, including concerns for both liver and kidney health. These guidelines specifically advise caution when it comes to high-dose consumption of cassia cinnamon, particularly for susceptible groups like children or anyone with existing health conditions. This really emphasizes that while moderation is generally safe, Using too much can absolutely pose risks. So, a helpful tip: choosing Ceylon cinnamon, which naturally contains significantly lower levels of coumarin, can be a much safer alternative if you frequently consume cinnamon or if you have any kidney concerns. Being aware of this allows you to really enjoy the benefits of cinnamon without unnecessary risk. Next up, we're going to explore a truly ubiquitous spice that's found on almost every dinner table. Number 5, black pepper. Now, let's talk about black pepper, often lovingly called the king of spices. Its distinctive pungency comes from piperine, its main active compound. While piperine offers some pretty interesting health benefits, its interaction with kidney function, especially when it's in concentrated forms, really does warrant our attention. You see, piperine is known to actually enhance the bioavailability of other substances, meaning it can increase how much they're absorbed into your bloodstream, and this increased absorption can pose a bit of a risk. Piperine could potentially increase the uptake of other substances that are harmful to your kidneys if they happen to be present in your diet. While black pepper itself isn't typically considered directly harmful to your kidneys in regular culinary amounts, its ability to boost the absorption of other compounds means it could indirectly add to your kidney's workload if those other compounds are indeed harmful. It's a subtle but really important distinction to grasp. Currently, human data specifically linking regular high-dose black pepper intake to kidney damage is actually quite limited. Most of the concerns we hear about come from studies involving concentrated piperine extracts, which are often found in supplements, rather than from just typical culinary consumption. Nevertheless, we highlight this aspect as a caution for anyone who might be consuming large, supplemental doses of piperine, especially if they have pre-existing kidney conditions. For most of us, using black pepper as a seasoning is perfectly safe and can even be beneficial. However, being aware of its enhancing properties, particularly in those concentrated forms, simply encourages us to take a more thoughtful approach to supplementation. Now, let's consider a popular pungent ingredient that has both protective and potentially problematic aspects. Number 6, garlic, powder, extract. All right, last but not least on our list is garlic, a true culinary cornerstone. It's celebrated for its robust flavor and all those fantastic health benefits. However, here's what to keep in mind. When it's consumed in high doses, especially in concentrated forms like powders or extracts, its potent compounds, alliin and allicin, can actually impact how your kidneys excrete things, particularly in sensitive individuals. These compounds require your kidneys to work even harder during their metabolic processing and elimination from your body. The risks associated with garlic really only emerge with high-dose consumption, and this is especially true for anyone with pre-existing kidney conditions. While fresh garlic, eaten in typical culinary amounts, is widely beneficial and truly supports your health, those concentrated forms can potentially overwhelm the kidneys of someone whose renal function is already compromised. This distinction between a fresh, whole food and a highly processed supplement is absolutely crucial for your kidney health. High concentrations of alliin and allicin, which you often find in supplements marketed for various health benefits, can potentially increase the excretory load on your kidneys. What does that mean? It means your kidneys have to filter and process a greater quantity of these compounds and their byproducts, and that can really be taxing over time for a system that's already vulnerable. It truly boils down to the concentration and your body's capacity to handle it. Therefore, while fresh garlic remains a highly recommended part of a healthy diet, we do advise caution when you're considering high-dose garlic powder or extract supplements, especially for those with kidney concerns. Always prioritize whole foods over highly concentrated extracts unless you're guided by a health professional. This leads us perfectly into considering just how common these spice-induced issues truly are. Prevalence of spice-induced kidney issues. So, you might be wondering, how common are these spice-induced kidney issues? Well, thankfully, spice-induced kidney inflammation is relatively uncommon for most people, especially when spices are consumed in typical culinary amounts. Your body is generally super well equipped to process and excrete the compounds found in common spices without any adverse effects. Your kidneys are resilient organs, and typically, small exposures are managed really efficiently. However, and this is important, the risk significantly goes up for anyone with pre-existing kidney problems. We're talking about things like chronic kidney disease, a history of kidney stones, or if your body's detoxification capacities are simply not up to par. In these situations, your kidneys are already working at a reduced capacity, which makes them much more susceptible to the cumulative burden that even moderate amounts of certain spices might impose. Some individuals also face a higher risk due to genetic predispositions. This might affect how their bodies process certain compounds, or it could be due to other health factors like uncontrolled diabetes or high blood pressure, which can already put stress on the kidneys. Plus, lifestyle factors such as not drinking enough water or taking certain medications that are also harmful to the kidneys can further increase vulnerability. Understanding these individual variations is truly key. Recognizing kidney inflammation symptoms. Now, recognizing the signs of kidney inflammation early on is absolutely crucial for getting timely help. One of the common things to watch out for includes changes in your urination patterns. This could be a decrease in how much urine you produce, feeling the urge to go more frequently, or even a change in the color or clarity of your urine. These can all hint that your kidneys might not be filtering waste as optimally as they should. Another really noticeable symptom is swelling, especially in your legs, ankles, feet, or even your face. This fluid retention, which doctors call edema, happens when your kidneys just can't effectively remove excess fluid and sodium from your body, leading to it building up in your tissues. It's often a very visible sign of potential kidney distress. And then there's persistent fatigue and just a general feeling of weakness. These can also be really significant warning signs. When your kidneys are inflamed or impaired, they can't adequately produce erythropoietin, which is a hormone vital for making red blood cells. This can lead to anemia, and as a result, that feeling of constant tiredness. Plus, the buildup of toxins in your body can definitely contribute to this feeling of weariness. Lastly, if you have blood tests, elevated blood markers like interleukin-6, C-reactive protein, and tumor necrosis factor alpha are systemic indicators of inflammation throughout your body, including potential kidney inflammation. These markers, which are detectable through blood tests, signify your body's inflammatory response and can prompt your doctor to investigate your kidney health further. Minimizing risk. Expert recommendations. So, how can we minimize the risk of spice-induced kidney issues? Especially for those of you with existing kidney concerns, moderation is absolutely paramount. Most whole spices are perfectly safe in typical culinary amounts, but it's really crucial to avoid excessive doses, particularly from concentrated extracts or supplements. Always try to prioritize using whole spices in your cooking over those highly processed powders or capsules. And here's a really important piece of advice. Always consult with a healthcare professional, like your doctor or a registered dietitian, especially if you have pre-existing kidney conditions or if you're thinking about high-dose spice supplementation. They can give you personalized advice based on your specific health profile and any current medications you're taking, ensuring safe intake levels. Trying to self-prescribe supplements without professional guidance can genuinely be risky. We really want to emphasize getting your nutrients and beneficial compounds from whole foods rather than relying on concentrated extracts. If supplementation is truly deemed necessary for you, make sure it's done under expert supervision so they can monitor for any adverse effects and adjust dosages appropriately. Taking a cautious and well-informed approach really helps protect your renal health effectively. So, to wrap things up, it's clear that certain spices, while offering truly wonderful flavors and health benefits, can indeed trigger or potentially worsen kidney inflammation. This is particularly true for sensitive individuals or when these spices are consumed in excess. Being aware of compounds like oxalates, coumarin, and piperine, and truly understanding the risks associated with high concentrations is absolutely essential. Ultimately, moderation and making informed choices are the key to harnessing all those amazing spice benefits without inadvertently risking your kidney health. If you found all this information valuable, please consider sharing it with your friends or family who might also benefit from learning about these crucial aspects of spice consumption and kidney health. And hey, why not subscribe to our newsletter for even more health insights and practical advice? We'd also love for you to comment below with your own experiences or any questions you might have about spices and how they impact your kidney health.